Hey everybody. We'll dispense with the intro for today for obvious reasons. So I'll just welcome everybody to WTF Live. Obviously, we have devastating news about Charlie Kirk. Been waiting more or less 15 hours or so to talk about this. Tried to organize my thoughts unsuccessfully. So let's bring in the panel and we'll just get this thing started. There's no point. I can't play funny clips and things, you know, and have the intro as normal. It's different now. It's not about culture war. Now it's just war. You know, how are you supposed to win a battle of ideas when one side starts bringing bullets? I don't know. Anyway, welcome the panel, John and Rhoda. Hello, guys. How you doing?
What's up?
It's been a long fucking day, hasn't it?
It's been a long 25 years almost. Yeah. 24
you were saying this is hardly new for you. Yeah. Welcome to September the 11th, 2025, everybody. And you have another national tragedy on your hands.
Yeah.
Another national tragedy.
Yeah.
I'll go into how utterly shocked and gutted and beyond everything else furious I was. But we'll let's do some intros first, and also if you could just sort of reflect on, you know, where you were, what you were doing, how you feel, why it matters. John.
Yeah. It was an interesting day yesterday. I woke up not feeling well to begin with, and was just kind of like, oh well. Thankfully, it's my day off. I don't have too much going on here, so I'm just going to spend the day, you know, playing some Metal Gear and see if I can actually get all these achievements that I'm working on. And at some point in time, I went and I looked at X and I saw this devastating news, and I went from feeling bad to feeling so much worse. And I was just not really ready to go and jump online and do much of anything.
Yeah, me neither. A lot of people were. A lot of people were very, very quick, and good for them. Great for them, because a lot of us benefited massively from that. But I wasn't about to go live and start because I was going to say something really stupid.
Yeah, and me being the old man around these parts, you know, like I said before the beginning. No, I'm not, but I'm old enough that, you know, when September 11th did happen 24 years ago, I was actually scheduled.
20?
Yeah, I was 20 years old, and I was getting married in a week and a half when that happened. You know,
right.
So I've watched the last 24 years in this country go through, you know, some form of just toxic patriotism. At first, it seemed, you know, like this country came together really well in a way, but then the political motivations started, you know, really.
You know, this is one of the only times I would actually tolerate someone calling it toxic, because it was fairly toxic. You know?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, and not initially. The people here, you know, 24 years ago, a lot of people right after it started, right after the event, 24 years ago. There was a lot of people looking for some common ground and trying to have a sense of humanity about things. And then, like I say, thereafter, that's really when this schism, this partisan divide of ideologies and things like that really started to take hold. And, you know, this country became very divisive and divided, and turned into a weird partisan political football game of sorts. And it's only gotten stranger and stranger over the course of the last 24 years. So, you know, when I saw the thing yesterday, I was like, I don't want talk about this right yet. And then
right.
found out that you know, Toasty was deciding to go live, and so I just did not feel well enough, so I didn't really get into it last night. So I'll be having a conversation with you guys about this for the first time. About
good,
this,
yeah, that's the first time for me as well. Like I haven't been live. I saw Hypno stream, and I also got told off by Hypno for going too far in our chat too. Like quite rightly so. It's the good reason I didn't go live, because the last thing you want to do is say the kind of shit that I was saying in that chat on the internet.
Right.
I was hot, man, hot.
So yeah, and so I wanted to give myself a little bit of time to kind of collect my thoughts. Kind of, you know, I watched you see that video when it happened. I mean, especially if you were watching it and saw it happen live. I mean,
I did, yes. I'll tell my story in a second, but you tell yours and Rhoda.
But yeah, so I spent the night just trying to stay distracted a little bit, and just I ended up watching the stream they did last night, and I'm glad they had a good time enough to at least get together and do it. But I don't know, my stomach yesterday was just,
I didn't see that. I hope it wasn't too much of a shit show. Sometimes people can be too hot, you know. If I'd been on that, it would have been a shit show.
And I know that, you know, I'll probably say some things today that people are like, "Oh, what?" And again, you know, 24 years of dealing with some of this.
Look, as long as you don't call for retaliation.
No. That's the last thing that the last thing that I mean.
Whether you think it or not, don't say it on the internet.
No.
That would be really bad. You know,
because what I was saying about like this politicization, what we ultimately found out, you know, in the events that would later come about from everything that happened September 11th, 24 years ago, was very dubious and highly suspect. That what appeared on the surface and what it was reported as was actually the situation that really took place. And so that's kind of when yesterday happened. I looked at it from the vantage point of, I'm also playing Metal Gear.
I mean, so what did you think when it happened? Or when you found out?
Well, I mean, the way
are you pissed off?
Well, the way that the way that he was assassinated looked like somebody who was highly trained, like beyond
someone trained for it, definitely. Yeah.
Like
I don't know if it was just a regular.
Extensively well trained.
It almost seemed too much like it was set up to, because of the conversation that was being had when it happened. And we can get to that later, but yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
so,
to be fair, we can get to anything at any point in this. There's no structure to the stream.
Yeah. So
we're just having a chat.
Like I said, I you know, there's a reason that we have the John's conspiracy theories clip here. I looked at what was happening yesterday as something that was manipulation of you know, the media, the people here in this country, the festering vitriol that's been building over the last 10 years of, you know, this extreme partisan. Right. And so
there's no accident.
No.
People don't just go crazy en masse for no fucking reason.
Right.
You know? And when we get to eventually, when I go through bookmarks I've got and links that chat have been sending me and stuff, there's tons of vile crap coming out of the left.
And the way that I mean, I don't know, the way that the whole thing played out yesterday, just I'm kind of in a state of bewilderment, and also at the same time, this is all too familiar. But with that said, though, you know, I did make some decent progress when I was trying to distract myself with some Metal Gear. So I got to the motorcycle section.
Nice.
And that is
tough to get the frogs there.
Oh, so fucking hard. So
I'm not there yet. I'm on my collection run. I'm not there yet. But,
yeah.
You know, I was going to try and distract myself with it earlier on, but instead I just passed out. I was exhausted.
But you know, I did recapture my snake, my Tsuchinoko, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Congratulations. Where'd you get it?
So when you have it, and once you get through the torture scene, when you meet up with Eva, just go back outside the waterfall, and if you already have one captured, you'll actually be able to see it on the ground. It'll be like right over by a tree, and you can quite literally at that point in time just shoot it with a trank gun, and you don't have to use the mousetrap. So much easier. Yeah, so you can actually see it for once.
All right, fair enough.
So,
anyway.
But anyway, but that was kind of my evening, was just trying to not dwell too much.
Try not to face it. Well, we're gonna have to face it now.
Oh yeah, no, I knew today was gonna be a thing, and I was like,
I tried to think of like ways we could sort of do a half show where it's just this, and then like, you know, we can't do wanker of the week for something like this. You know, that would be disrespectful.
Yeah.
There is no show. It's just us. Yeah. We're gonna talk.
So other
and
than
I
that,
hate, by the way, I hate that we're having to do this like this. Like, you know, well, congrats, leftists. You have rendered us speechless. You know, like we've actually had to all interrupt our lives, our schedules, and our shows and our professionalism for this. Congrats, I suppose. You absolute filth. But
yeah. So with that said, though, I'll get into more details on my thoughts about the actual stuff. But
yeah, well, we'll get into.
I'll pass it over to Rhoda too.
All right, man. Rhoda, what's up?
Yeah, well, there is only one story, probably for weeks now.
Let's not forget the Ukrainian woman, by the way. I want to make it clear. I'm not forgetting about that. I will not forget about that because it's a 1-2 punch. It's just like the second one hit.
That was kind of the thing that sent me over yesterday. It was just like it was,
yeah. Anyway, Rhoda, please continue.
Isn't that? Yeah. I mean, these people are absolute nut jobs, and I can't really get my head around it. Like we were backstage, like about to start the show on Noise's channel when it actually happened. So so that was a very, very weird experience, because obviously everything just changed on its head. That was
massive derailing.
Yeah. And what again, like John was saying just now, what struck me was the professionalism. Because like obviously we didn't put it on the show, but we watched the footage backstage. It's the most probably the most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
I've seen some fucked up stuff on the internet. I've seen that video of the guy doing it to himself in the middle of a courtroom and stuff like that. But this is somehow worse.
It's pinpoint precision, surgical accuracy,
200 yards,
and like he just moved his head and
right in the artery as well.
Right. I mean, straight in the jugular. Like that was anybody who. Like,
it probably was an accident, right? I mean, surely they were trying to get in between the eyes, you know.
Maybe, but I don't know. Professional deer hunters only dream to.
Maybe it was to. I don't know. Rhoda, carry on, mate.
But anyway, yeah.
Sorry, we're going to be really scrambled today.
Yeah, I think everybody is. I think everyone who's covering this is going to be doing it in exactly the same way. There's just there's no other way to handle it. It's.
I know what you mean. Like I see all these people go live and they're like, I don't know what to say, and I'm like, I know what to fucking say. And then it's like you flip on the microphone, you're like, actually, you know, it's brutal. But so you were about to go live and do it, and you managed to pull off the stream anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really big panel, so no one person really got to say that much, which is probably a good thing in the heat of the moment.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I was gonna go nuclear. Like I was gonna say some real bad shit, you know. Is that it? From you for now?
Well, like the comparison to 9/11, you were asking, like, you know, where were you? I was opposite my old school, delivering magazines. when our boss came and picked us up in his car, and it was on the radio.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was watching Leon's stream. It was right before my wife and kids got back or something. I can't quite remember the exact timing of everything. But yeah, it was late. I shouldn't have been awake, or I think maybe they'd woken me up or something. I can't remember. and I decided to go and get some food. And I was at 7-Eleven, not far from my house, and I was watching Leon, and then it was like, oh, he's been shot, you know, Charlie Kirk's been shot. I'm like, what the fuck, Charlie Kirk? Why Charlie Kirk? It's like the most benign one of all of us.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
South Park did an episode on him, and he laughed it off to the point to where he literally changed his profile photo to Cartman. I mean, like,
I pointed out it was only going to be a matter of time until somebody blamed South Park for it.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people saying they got blood on their hands now. They popped him off a little bit. They blew up his name quite a bit by having it, you know, and not that he hadn't, you know, completely blown up by himself. Many people are correctly, in my estimation, saying that he would have been a president one day.
most likely.
He was 31, so he's too young. But next cycle, he could have run for president, and probably would have won. He probably wouldn't have run though until he was a little older.
His work over the last 13 years has been pretty prolific.
More or less phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Like, the guy rose from literally a college dropout, which in my estimation, again, makes you probably smarter than most people who go to college, because I've dropped out of college twice, and for both times for the reason that there was nothing of value being like purchased with all that money.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like I was being taught anything or benefiting at all, and I was just getting into debt, so I quit twice.
Yeah, I dropped out of college too, which I think was a good thing, because you see kids who go all the way through college and all the way through university.
What do they get?
And then they come in,
can't get jobs.
Yeah, so they end up on the shop floor not knowing how to use a mop, like I mentioned the other day. You know,
with the arrogance of going, I've got a piece of paper that says I'm better than you.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad I didn't do that to myself.
I do have a couple of degrees, but as we all know, my degrees were basically an embezzlement scheme so that my ex-wife could offload all of her student loan debt into mine and leave me with like hundreds of thousands of dollars of.
You are a mug, mate.
So I was.
But the thing is, so he got shot, and then I got distracted because I had to take my niece to school. So I went back to the house. I somehow, like, I'd only slept like 2 hours. I should have been asleep, and you know, for hyperdrive time. But then, you know, I took my niece to school, and on the way, heard something like he's in critical condition or something, and then on the way back, I decided, okay, I'm going to stop off one more time and get some more food. But then I tuned back in, and he'd been pronounced dead.
Yeah, I think that was crowd control at the time, to be quite honest. Is
what?
When they said that he was in critical condition.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get shot like that.
Well, there were people from the inside. I've watched tons and tons of people's responses today. I watched Megyn Kelly, and she's tight with she was tight with Charlie Kirk, and she was getting personal text messages and stuff. Yeah. From mutual contacts saying that he was in critical condition, and then it was finally announced. But I can't think what the website is now. Begins with a D, whatever it is. A trustworthy news source had pronounced that he died.
Right.
And at that moment, I went berserk. Mr. Grant Gregory, if you want to jump in, mate, I'll send you a link. Yeah, sure. I went quietly more angry than I can remember being for a very long time. The first thing I thought was, this man is a good man, no matter what the fucking left say. And they've called him all the names under the sun, and it has not worked. They've called him Nazi, they've called him bigot, they've called him this and that and the other, and it just didn't work. Because he is so blatantly, obviously a nice guy. Secondly, his wife and his kids. I'm a new father with 2 baby girls, you know, and I know that he's only been married like 4 years. He's got 2 small kids who no longer have a father.
Yeah, and
they were there.
Yeah,
and that made my blood boil like nothing on this fucking earth has ever made my blood boil when I thought about the absolute vile injustice of it all. This man who did nothing wrong ever, who went by their fucking alleged playbook. Let's talk about these things. Let's have the conversations.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was so good at the conversations that they knew they had no chance of ever actually beating him with their games, because he just was so exceptional at getting a very clear, very plain point across. He was incredible at getting people to realize their own folly in an argument by turning their argument on its head and making them argue with themselves.
Right.
They knew they can't beat him.
Yeah, just showing their cognitive dissonance. And
yes, exactly. Showing them the complete errors in their logic, their thinking, and everything, and revealing very often, more than anything else, that they just heard something that they were parroting, and they didn't actually have a fucking clue what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he did it in the most humble and genteel way, politely, with respect, walking into enemy territory, smiling, and being humble and courteous wherever. Very rarely did he get up like heated. Very rarely. They knew they couldn't beat him because he was playing their game and he was playing it better than them. And he was winning. Yeah. He's attributed. Go on.
Sorry. I've seen so many videos of him being yelled at by these deranged people, and it just slides off like Teflon.
Yeah, he doesn't care because he's trying to help.
Like a masterclass in communication to watch.
And you have to be a really benevolent person. Like, there's no way to fake that for as consistently for as long as he did. You really have got to be the real good guy, like, to be able to take that kind of crap and just smile and say, well, why do you feel that way? And then prove them wrong anyway and make them feel stupid, but in a way that doesn't necessarily make them hate you. Right. Some people did hate him, but most of those people never spoke to him. That's the guy you choose to kill?
Well, none of them did. That was the point, because if they did, then he was the one that would change their mind, because he literally did 2 or 3 things. He asked them a question, or he repeated the last 3 or 4 words that they said to him.
Yeah.
And when you hear that, you're like, you know, it makes you think about it. Like it's
when it's reflected back at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a master,
like
a genius, maybe.
Dude, and he wasn't even the best at it. Like, there's still so many other people that are quote unquote their enemy that are way better than whatever he did. He was able to be the most relatable. That was the difference.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. There are better debaters. There are people out there who go in and are more dominant, and you know, a lot of the Daily Wire guys, you know, they go and they really destroy various people, but he would go in and try to make friends with them. And some of them, sometimes at the end of their little exchange, you'd see a guy, or sometimes even a girl, go, well, actually, you're right, can I have one of those hats? And he'd go, yep, and he'd throw them out to the crowd and stuff like that. Legend. And it was the thing was, that's their vulnerability. Their biggest vulnerability is, as always, using their own rhetoric against them. But not only was he using their own rhetoric against them, he was playing by their rules entirely. He never advocated for violence. He was a little bit Jesus-y, and some people don't like that so much. I'm not a religious person, but I tolerate it, you know, because it does only spread good things in my estimation these days.
Well, I mean, you're a ginger, so it makes sense. I get it.
I used to have long hair. I used to be called Jesus quite often, but you know what I mean. He's you know, he's a very faithful guy, and it's bad enough, but baffling enough when people say this guy's a transphobic bigot, and it's like, no, he's not. He just doesn't want, like, women to suffer, and he doesn't want people to
kids.
He doesn't want naive children to suffer, and he doesn't want.
If you saw his relationship with his daughter, you get it. He doesn't want men in women's sports. Like,
Yeah, he loves his little girl so much. I saw when he was on Fox News, because Fox News for the longest time they wouldn't pay attention to Charlie Kirk, and then they finally started to get with the program in the last few years. They started to realize like this guy's going to be leading us all soon because he's getting to the people.
dude, he was
dodgy old
4
Republicans.
years away of being eligible to run for president. You don't
Yep.
think they had an issue with that? Like,
I feel like that has more to do with it than anything else.
What other political pundit, let's just say Republican pundit, has ever had the youth as much as he did?
No one.
No one. Never.
The most is Trump. And it's just not even Trump isn't even close to his ballpark. A lot of people attribute a lot of people say that Trump won because of Charlie Kirk.
Because of Charlie, like, and that's why when you see the thing when he was elected and his missus said like you did this, and he's just like, you could see the relief, like it happened. Like,
oh God, the moment when he found out Trump had won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just went quiet and just started crying. And it was such a heartwarming moment. Like, and even when everyone around him, his wife and all of his team were telling him, this is your victory, say a few words, have a victory speech, he still wouldn't do it. He attributed it all to God. What a humble man. Like, this guy, this is the guy that you have fucking murdered.
Yeah.
You big mistake, if you ask me.
Yeah,
there's no more moderate. Right, that's the problem that they've just now walked into, because the ones who were moderate, they're not moderate anymore. After
well,
this,
it's the adage, isn't it? If you start killing all the good men, you'll be sorry when you see who's left.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of the issue, is that in a nation that is consumed by spectacle, he offered substance.
And that's not a new thing for America either. American politics has been very spectacular for a long time.
Right.
But it's got to crazy point at the beyond crazy at this point. It's turning into a banana republic. This is the kind of thing that happens in South
political
America.
assassination has become almost an Americanized thing. As weird as that is to say, like,
it is a little.
You would think of that as a third world sort of.
Right.
Not anymore. And here's another point, and then I want to go through the super chats, guys, because we've got quite a few of them. A lot of people were saying, well, they already went after Trump and they couldn't get Trump, and he's like, yeah, they missed by a fucking gnat's whisper, and a whisker rather, but they missed, and so they went after an easier target. Maybe, I don't know if it's that, but.
It shows you the attitude of the people that you've seen and the stuff that's turned your guts with what they've said. Now imagine it was Trump.
Well, the thing is, I feel like it's worse. That's my point.
I feel like it's and I even said that earlier, and I even said it. And people were like, no, this is not as bad. I'm like, no, I feel like Hassan Piker come out and actively condemned. Ethan Klein was crying on stream. Cenk Uygur was begging for people to, don't attack the people. Like the fact that none of these people who are hyper left wings did anything about that when it comes to the stuff with Trump.
Yeah.
Like, because the fact of the matter is, the difference between what happened with Trump and what happened with Charlie is you, Rhoda, everyone on stream, you're just a guy on the internet that has a political opinion, and the difference is you weren't killed for it. He was.
You're not a candidate. He's not a candidate.
He's not a political figure. He would have been. No. He would have been if he ran in like 8 years' time. He could have been on the presidential ballot.
Yes, absolutely, and would have had a fucking good shout at winning because he's that. By 8 years more of this, he would have been the most loved man in America. Well, he blew up in the last 2 years.
He would have only been. Really, I think they said he was like three months short of being able to run in the next election if he ran, because he would have been 34 and a half or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as someone who lives here and just kind of, as you mentioned, Trump, in comparison to Charlie Kirk, Trump's he wears his faith in some ways kind of like a suit. He dresses himself a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bulldog.
Whereas,
too.
right. Whereas,
Mr. Mean tweets. There's actually a more. It would be easier to understand. I know, as irate as we'd all be, of course, it would have been easier to understand killing Trump.
Right, but and that's the point that I'm getting at is that again, this is about the spectacle versus the substance. But Charlie Kirk was acting out in good faith throughout
in the best faith, in the highest of faiths,
and throughout the entirety of his
enemies,
life,
as graciously as he possibly could. The nicest, most benign fucking guy, like too nice, almost a Boy Scout.
Right.
Compared to the filth and crap that we get away with saying, like this guy was a saint.
Right.
And he no one deserved it less.
Yeah. And so I think that's kind of the thing that's really disheartening about the whole thing, because I'm a person who exists in 3 dimensions. A lot of people have perspectives and viewpoints that I overlap with in certain areas, and other things I'm just kind of completely out of my own little space. But ultimately I try to, especially in the recent years of my life, try to act in accordance of good faith, rather than just being zealous and clinging to some kind of religion that ultimately will escape you if you bind yourself to it too tightly. And to see somebody who actually took the time to interact with people that outright were looking to kind of tie him up, or try to make it seem as though he had some ulterior motive, when all he was doing was legitimately having conversations with people.
And the other thing is, he was squeaky clean too.
Right. And in this nation where people talk at each other more than they talk with each other.
He was just talking. That was the point.
Right.
But his whole point was, if you don't talk, it's easy to look at your person who you're talking against as
but that's
non-human.
the point that I was trying to make, is that even in a nation where, because I do live here, like when you're surrounded by just a culture of people that talk at each other, if not shout and scream and berate, for someone to actually go and talk with you, have a conversation, actually try to get to the substance of things, that's rare in and of itself. But when somebody's actually doing it just simply as a way of trying to improve the human condition, so to speak, through their efforts, that's something
again, he completely benign, good faith, altruistic, philanthropic, all the good things, all the best things, all the highest possible praise you can give someone. And they managed to convince themselves that this guy was some kind of monster, and even that didn't take. Like, no one was even taking them serious. I don't think I ever even heard of anyone calling him all these bloody names. Because, again, it's like, okay, you can understand it with Trump because he said this and he's done that and he's been in the game a long time, been a public figure for fucking 50 years, But Charlie Kirk, just a family man, just a young family man entering the prime of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Gunned down like a fucking dog, leaves behind a beautiful wife and 2 fatherless children who will not really understand what happened to their daddy.
This is why I'm glad that you used
cry earlier on.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way that
I shed tears. I was fucked up. I was fucking beside myself with anger. I was going to say things, things you definitely don't want to be saying on the internet. Things you definitely don't want to be saying on YouTube,
Yeah.
like what I think should happen next and how I think people should respond. And I feel
you're a dad. It's like
what I would do if someone.
We get it. Like, it's just like
my kids,
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
The streets would run red if someone tried to fucking take me from my kids,
Yeah. Well,
It would be
it's not only that. Like it's not just like his big crime was he had a thought that other people didn't. They disagreed with it, so therefore, based on that, he can no longer raise his daughter. He can't walk his daughter down the aisle when she gets married. He can never hold his grandkid because he had a thought that someone else said, I disagree with.
Yeah.
He made a noise
Exactly.
out of his mouth that was
that you don't
that
like.
angered
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
And
Like-
this is the biggest problem. And I swear we'll get to the super chats in just a minute. The biggest problem is that it is all stemming from this warped single philosophy that the left in particular have, which is that when someone disagrees with you, they are somehow infringing on your human rights.
Right.
Like they are trying to destroy you by arguing with you, instead of it being like, well, you feel this way and I feel this way, and I think like the way you feel is really stupid. Let's discuss it and come to a conclusion that maybe we can both get on with. For them, it's, you just said that you think their ideas are stupid. They feel like you are threatening their existence. And so that is the just massive escalation beyond all logic and sense, escalating it to live versus die immediately. Thus, in their minds, in their fucked up beyond all recognition minds, it justifies acts of violence in response.
Right. And that's the crazy thing, is the sentiment oftentimes is that words are violence, but violence,
which is they're not, by the way.
Right. That is not.
We make jokes about it, but let me just categorically say, in case any fucking retarded leftists are watching, words are not now, nor have they ever been, fucking violence.
Right. And that's the crazy thing, is they say words are violence, but violence is moral and justifiable if you have
in
this
response
imperative.
to words.
Right.
Yeah, the indoctrination is just, I mean, somebody who thinks like that, you can't even get them to agree to disagree. You know,
Exactly.
they won't even leave you alone. You know, you want to say,
they'll follow you up the fucking street, yelling in your face.
Yeah, and trying to nick your phone and whatever.
Yeah, or they'll shoot you, apparently. Because what has happened here is a war of ideas, a culture war. The culture war's over now. As far as I'm concerned, the culture war ended today. It's just war at this point. I hate to say it because it sounds like I'm escalating it, but I'm not trying to. But there's no fucking idea war left when someone's got bullets.
Yeah,
that's why I'm glad that you said murder rather than.
It is a murder.
You know, you don't want to like glamorize this by using words like assassination and make it sound like a video game.
Murdered like a dog.
I'm glad you said that. I said exactly the same thing to Lilith last night.
It's murder. It's cold-blooded murder.
The fact of the matter is, the word assassination does also hold a key, because that's what it was. An assassination has a huge political motive behind it. Just to call it a murder means it's just one person killing another person over anything. There was a very clear and distinct directive with this. Someone
I guess the point
meters away, ran away, and are still on the large. Like, this is like,
it is an assassination.
It is it is a murder. I'm not saying it's not a murder, but I think the idea of just saying it's not an assassination is a weird.
Well, no, it is one. I just think like using language like that glamorizes it. You know, we don't want to make.
I guess it sensationalizes it rather than glamorizing it. Yeah. But there's an argument to be had for both terms, because, like Grant says, it is a political maneuver, and thus it is a political assassination, which is exactly what it is. It's a weakening of one side by executing a key member of that side. So it's an assassination. On the other hand, he was murdered like a fucking dog.
Who was murdered.
And the way the situation played out seemed like a highly organized operation that was done with surgical precision. Yeah, and again, I am the
right. Even down to the question that was asked. Like,
assassination is the better term. Murder is the more emotive term. You know, and that's why I chose to call it a murder, because I'm angry about it.
Right. and as the requisite conspiracy theorist here, Charlie Kirk, he was saying things that even at this point in time, because he was a very faith-based man.
Are you about to go down the Israel rabbit hole? Because if you are,
dude, I
don't want to play the clip.
on Ben Shapiro's show, dude, it was fucking 16 hours ago, whatever it was, when he was talking about, and he was criticizing what happened. Like, do we truly believe what they are saying in the media?
Right.
He actively said it. Like,
he did. He refused to go to Israel. Charlie
Right.
Kirk was invited to Israel by Netanyahu, and he refused. Or he declined.
And so that's the thing, is where it's like, even because he was actually led by his faith internally, not this weird Zionistic control state that seemingly has its hold on the world. And when you talk about the war, and maybe I do play too much Metal Gear, but
look, there's probably more of a conspiracy to this than we
will ever know
about. I don't know that right now we need to be talking about more than the simple fact that the good man is dead for the stupidest fucking reason.
And that's all I'm saying, is that this to me seems as though it's something that we will never know the full depth of, the full range.
I don't want to right now, frankly. I don't want to. There's already far too much to unpack and go over in just the couple hours we have.
Oh yeah,
to begin going down the rabbit hole,
and that's why I'm not really going to go into
future. We can talk about that.
No, and that's all I'm saying is
just how disgusting this is, and how the paradigm is never going to be the same again now.
But
because especially if they don't catch the person.
Right, and
because they haven't yet.
I don't believe they will, unfortunately, and that's the only thing.
You may think that that's by design as well, and there's an argument for that.
I mean,
there is.
It does seem to me as though this whole thing was carried out in such a way as to, the guy that they pulled from the crowd had his pants down and around his ankles. It was completely just insane.
Dude, he was screaming, "Shoot me, shoot me, shoot me!" Like he was begging. It was just like, dude, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, dude, this dude's a patsy. I said it fucking 12 hours ago. I'm like, this dude did not do it.
The old guy? The old guy that they called, And then he immediately starts screaming about the right to remain silent and stuff like that. Yeah, no, that guy was far too fast. He was a distraction.
Dude,
he was screaming, shoot me. And the moment someone's on this, like, nah, you're a patsy. I even, like, not a chance in hell. This guy's responsible. Because when I saw it, I'm like, I'm like, that was a rifle. That was not a fucking gun. That's not a handgun.
No, that was a sniper.
And that's the thing that I'm trying to get at, though, is because I think people should remember that ultimately Charlie Kirk was somebody who was very adamant in his faith, not his religion, but his faith. And so seeing the kind of reactionary vitriol that's happening now, there are powers that would want for that, because that makes so many other stages of a top-down globalist control scheme far more capable. And if you have somebody who's actually reasonable and rational and wants to talk through things and actually try to deal with the state of reality rather than clown world.
Yeah.
And all the clowns that operate this circus, they can't have that. And so I think that, this was a means to an end to keep the divide, keep tensions, more than bubbling over at this point. I think that this is a time people would be best spent being a little bit more introspective and reflective and compassionate, considerate, than to just get consumed by, your emotional kind of, magnets drawing you to being reactionary or too much anything. And because that's ultimately Charlie Kirk spent his time talking to people beyond the emotional level and actually staying in the substance of the thing.
Right.
So that's
at the same time, what did that do for him? Like that, I get what you're saying, and if you want to respect his memory and do it that way, I get that. But people can't help but be reactionary based on what happened.
I understand that.
If at the end of the day, you have to do it.
If they're doing it to a violent criminal who was killed and they're rioting in the streets, well, that's one thing. But you're talking about a guy who just spoke.
I understand.
Like,
Yeah, it's not
it-
like with martyring
saying
someone
to not
who's
have
done and said terrible fucking things.
No,
This guy's
I'm
never
saying
done anything bad.
the idea of turning the other cheek is only going to last so long before people strike back.
We're already
And
seeing
I
it.
think this was a litmus test for the moderates on both sides.
Yeah,
Because I've seen a lot of people who were. Yeah.
Well,
there's been protests. I've seen them already. I've seen beatdowns at vigils. There was a vigil at I can't remember where it was.
Boise, yeah.
In Idaho.
Boise, Idaho. Yeah.
There was a vigil for Kirk, and someone rode through on a scooter shouting "fuck Charlie Kirk," and he got pulled off the scooter and beaten to fuck by twice,
right,
by a bunch of people, and it's just keep going like this is it, I guess. You turned the Cold War into a hot one,
right? And that's the point that I'm getting at is that I understand, having an emotional, visceral, thing, right?
The thing is, right, here's the problem. And I don't want to say anything on the internet that incites anything from anyone, because I can do without that in my life, right?
Well, are you clearly talking about in Minecraft?
In Minecraft only, of course, yeah. It should, the forests will run red in Minecraft, but no, look, at the end of the day, and I hate to almost paraphrase fucking iDubbbz of all people here, but there's one side that is no longer willing to engage civilly, and at a certain point the only thing they will understand is the boot on their neck, and that is unfortunately what must maybe. I don't want to say this is what should happen at all. I'm just saying that I'm not really surprised, nor am I going to tell anyone not to do exactly what we saw at Idaho. Because if you've had enough, you've had enough. You've been pushed. People can only be pushed so far. And maybe the only way to win is to get down into the fucking muck.
Because what's going to happen, it's not going to be the people that are out there putting their life on the line. It's going to be their loved ones. You're going to see some, next time there's a quote-unquote political figure out there talking about something's going to happen, and it's going to be one of their loved ones that ends up killing someone in defense.
Right.
And that's when that's what'll happen. Because if it was your wife, if it was your brother, if it was your father, and you were there, and someone just got killed recently, and then you saw the same thing, you're not going to act.
You're not dealing with random individual crazy people either. You're dealing with, there are thousands of people who are on Blue Sky today, in their vanilla sky, celebrating this.
Have you ever received any hate on the internet for any of your opinions? Or
yes, absolutely. I've got death threats. I've been called. I've been told that my wife is cheating on me, that my kids will leave me, that someone wants to call CPS, even though they have no reason to, or even know where I live, or
Majority of the people that I've helped in this creator space for the last year plus of my entire existence here.
Why did you ask anyway, Grant?
A large contingent find me terrible.
I do funny videos. I make robot videos, and I receive death threats, and I don't do anything political on my channel. And what I'm saying is, so if I was to let my dad or my mum know that, and I was out in public and someone come up to me, they would have that reaction where they would want to protect me. So now imagine you're in a scenario where you're in the same space as Charlie was. So next time, just say Crowder is out, and Crowder's brother or his father or anything's around there. Do you not think they're going to be concealing a weapon? What happens when someone comes up and acting? Do you think they're not going to overreact or react? They like it's going to happen because of this.
Something like this is even whispered about the possibility of it happening. There's going to be armed guards. There's going to be return fire. There's going to be a bloodbath.
What's it going to be like when Trump's at fucking Yankee Stadium tomorrow? That's going to be one of the biggest. That's going to be bigger than when he was anywhere else.
He's going to have to be in a Pope mobile, isn't
he? Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Like,
Listen,
out in the
I
middle
want
of-
I want to talk about some of these super chats,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
that's
all
all
right,
right,
you go,
because they're super duper piling up now, and the bar is already full. I don't know if it's appropriate to play the usual videos in response. I think maybe we save that for another one. But let's begin anyway. MagesGuild came in for $2 and sent you an important update from Steven Crowder. Yeah, he did a little while ago. Now this pertains to apparently the perpetrator. Obviously, this is all conjecture at this point, YouTube. So I have no idea what I'm about to read. So do be nice, please. Evidently, there's a thing here from Denver Fire Department. I don't know what I'm reading. Conservative political influencer Charlie Kirk was blah 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 at Utah Valley University. Speaking at university as part of the American Comeback Tour, multiple SLC 1 and 3 agents respond immediately. Suspect fired from one shot from an elevated position on a rooftop and adjacent building on the campus. The surveillance video shows the suspect jumping off and fleeing the area on foot. ATF and other law enforcement located an older model imported Mauser 30.030 to 06 caliber bolt action. Yeah, 30-06 bolt action rifle. Bolt action? Really? It's like the weapon that allegedly killed JFK.
Yes.
Although that was a Mannlicher Carcano rifle, but
That's
anyway.
an old ass rifle. That's
I was going to
weird.
say a Mauser, yeah. Wrapped in a towel in a wooded area near the campus. The location of the firearm appears to match the suspect's route of travel. Spent cartridge was still chambered in addition to 3 unspent rounds in the top-fed magazine. All cartridges have engraved wording on them expressing transgender and Antifa ideology.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at this point, it's worth pointing out, we've all seen the clips, right? I'm not playing them. I don't want to watch them again. They're fucking disturbing. Not even the faraway one. Not happening. So don't expect that, please, anyone. Yeah. But the conversation at the time was regarding trans mass, that have been going on lately. The person was asking, do you know how many transgender people have been mass, tuz? And the answer was 5. And then it was like, but Kirk said too many, which got a massive cheer. The following question was how many, I can't remember what it was, but basically he said that depends whether you're including gang or non-gang related violence. So his last word was violence because the shot was immediately after that. But it was about transgender mass executioners, basically. So this would line up way too perfectly. Emergency trace submitted. ATF SLC is working. Leads generated by the trace. The firearm ammunition have been taken by the FBI for DNA analysis, fingerprint impressions. Upon completion of forensics, firearm will be disassembled for additional important information. Multiple people of interest contacted. So there you go. Looking like it might be exactly who you think it is.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I didn't see that coming.
It's the number one person I was going to suggest. Like, look for the most capable parkouring trans person in the area and arrest them.
Well, I mean, there was that one fella that was saying that you just wait to see what happens tomorrow, and then
yes,
they 5 minutes before the shooting happened, they removed their account.
Yes, there was. I don't know where that's gone. I might have a bookmark of it, but I'm not sure if I do. Yeah. Someone said, it would be, wouldn't it be a shame if something were to happen and someone else responded, oh, something's going to happen.
No, it was the same person. It was the same person who replied to their own post.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the big dog smiley face. You wait till you see what happens tomorrow.
Right.
So they said something 8 hours earlier. They got no responses to it, so they replied to their own message. Horrifying. Is what happened. So, and also the gun that they end up using is a gun that's good to almost like a mile wide. It's an older style gun, but it's a gun that's designed for long range. Like, it's a 30-06, so it's. I mean, we kill pigs with them from 500 meters away, so it's not a hard shot. but it's yeah.
It's a
If
shot.
they were aiming, if they're aiming for the neck, it was a good shot. If they were aiming for the chest, I can see it hitting the neck, but
Yeah, not super accurate. But I mean, maybe with a scope or something. I don't know.
it's 200 meters. You'd open sight that at 200 meters. Like it's not that far.
Yeah, no, that's.
But yeah.
Okay, well, MagesGuild for another 2 says the cultural battle is kinetic now. Sad, really. Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly my point. You know, you've had a decade and change of open war of ideas, and now it's got to the point where bullets are being brought and we have a casualty, and it's fucked. It's completely fucked. Like everything will be more. That nothing will be the same after this. I think people don't quite realize how big this is. It feels colossal.
Yeah, it's like it's a slippery slope to more freedoms being taken away and like more surveillance and people being kept an eye on.
Well, I mean, Palantir was,
which is bad for both sides.
Palantir's been operating in the background of this whole thing. The stuff that happened in the LA riots a while back, that was more towards a full-scale surveillance state, you know, is right around the corner.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, a means to an end, whether it's from some dubious top-down control scheme kind of thing, or this is just another event of the way that we have kind of lost our humanity.
Exactly.
You know, and this is just ultimately what the nanny state of control decides that they're going to do to, you know, in response. That is well on its way, and it only gets further entrenched, unfortunately.
Exactly. This is one of the more recent posts I saw. Was just literally someone posting, "Oh, they're going to kill a bunch of trains about this. A bunch of tranoids are going to die apparently next." And the quote, of course, is delusional takes. So it says Charlie Kirk gets assassinated, and trannies are like, "How can I make this about me?"
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Rosie 6486 for 20. I would dearly love to play some Dobons, but not today. Says thanks for the content, Will, and very much appreciate that. Really do. Saw someone earlier on in chat quickly got deleted for yelling at me about monetizing Charlie Kirk's death. Well, that's not very fair, is it? First of all, he was a businessman, so he would absolutely respect it. Secondly, we're supposed to be live anyway. This is our scheduled show.
Yeah.
I'm not going live like to monetize his fucking death. I'm going live because I'm
the topic of today's
I could have
show.
canceled this stream. I really didn't feel like it, to be honest.
Right.
I just wanted to, but then it was like, no, if I don't talk about it, I'm going to feel worse. I'm feeling much better.
What's the difference if you had a radio job and you started talking about it? Is that monetizing it?
Yeah, right.
Or
I know. What about the news? You know,
if you're if you're a plumber and you take, you're talking about, are you monetizing his death?
Right. Exactly. You're right.
Right.
There is no fucking rules about this shit. It's just someone being sour grapes. Sardoc Spamfish for 5 says, what gets me here again is just like in Butler, there was a gunman on the roof. People noticed, yet somehow he was not stopped. Yeah, there was a video that went out hours beforehand. Not hours, sorry. You know, like an hour beforehand, where a couple of people saw a guy lying on the rooftop. And I swear one of them says, oh, he got there then, or something like that. Like, one of them sounds fairly chuffed that the person's there, and the other one sounds really concerned. So I don't know if that was like, don't say that. I'll say something to cover for what you just said, but it sounded like, you know, they didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Did you see the video of the guy that the moment that Charlie was shot was like a one row back from the front, jumping up and cheering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I mean, we live in a time where everything's on the internet, you know, and I don't know.
Anything that happens, there's about 1 million fucking cameras recording it.
Right.
So,
you could easily, in the matrix all the information that's just out there. You can easily make your whatever under the cover of just obscurity or in just the mass of it all.
It is fucked though. That
most of the dumbest shit they're
event,
posting themselves. That's the weird irony that you're talking about, John. Like it's there's so many cameras that are out there to show so many different angles, yet 90% of the shit that we're seeing is people posting them themselves.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
And as opposed to it being like ripped off by like the police and used as evidence, people post their own damn incrimination. Disgusting has been a member for 6 months, and thank you for that. It says congrats to leftists for burning all civility. No one was surprised. You see, this is the big problem. Like, yeah, you get shocked by the knowledge that this has happened, but no one was surprised. I've seen this guy's videos. I've been watching Charlie Kirk for a good year and a half, maybe. Since he like really started to blow up. Although I think I'd seen him before that, quite a long time ago, maybe during the Biden years, and I certainly saw him during the election cycle. So it would have been maybe 2023 or something when I started seeing his videos, and I used to wonder, like, no one's like throwing anything at him. No one's like, he must have good security. Well, so the bottom line is, these people are violent, rebellious, and not in the good way, revolutionary,
patient as well, unfortunately.
And they're patient and they're organized, and they tell you all the time. Like, we see posts daily with people, like little crazy people on TikTok going, why hasn't it happened yet, guys? Why hasn't it happened yet? And obviously what they're talking about when they say it, of course, is taking out Trump, right? And this is daily occurrence on TikTok, and no one's done anything fucking about it. The bottom line I'm trying to make is, if people tell you exactly who they are, you should probably believe them. And people have told us time and time again that they are violent psychos. So
RFK needs to look out. I'm just saying, like, based on everything that we've seen,
everyone needs to look out now. Everyone. Anywhere who has a public presence, because you don't know. I mean, in America, certainly. I don't know in other countries, but certainly everyone needs to be looking over their fucking shoulder now if they don't catch this dickhead, this monstrous bastard.
Well, not only, it's not just even this. Let's just say they catch the dickhead tomorrow and he's convicted, sentenced to jail, death, whatever it was. What's stopping him becoming a martyr? Okay, so next time Jordan Peterson is doing something in North Carolina University.
Yeah. Well, you mean, for starters, you can only do indoor events. Except Trump's going to an arena tomorrow.
But this is the thing, like, what that wouldn't stop anything. Like, Ben Shapiro's exclusively done indoor events, and he's had so many scares. He's actually had more scares than what Charlie Kirk did. That's the irony of it. Like, he's had more legitimate death threats and bomb threats and everything. Like
Ben Shapiro is much more aggressive in his rhetoric and his debate than Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, once again, was an utterly benign man, acting in the best possible faith, just trying to change minds gently.
Yeah.
And so he's been dealt with in the
just a conversation. If it doesn't change minds, it doesn't matter that it doesn't. It opens up the idea of, if I'm talking to you, you're less likely to look at me as the enemy, less likely to hurt me. Right. That's literally that's one of his things. Like, you're less likely to do violence against someone if you sit down and actually have a conversation with them. It's hard to unperson a person when you sat down and you said, "What's your name?" "Oh, I'm Kevin." "Do you have a wife?" "Yeah, I've got a wife. I've got 3 kids. I've got this. I do this." "Do you go to church?" "No, I'm not really." Like, it's so much harder to turn that into the boogeyman.
Right.
Yeah, of course, because we're all human beings. And when you do actually face someone, when you shake your bare, exposed, unarmed hand with someone else's, there's a connection there that immediately humanizes and levels both of you.
Yeah. And I think, and that was the reason why I was making my point earlier about, I understand a visceral kind of want for, to be reactionary, but That's not who this guy was. And so, you know,
No, but he
that's-
also would definitely not want people to stop talking or be silenced.
no, and I'm not saying to not have conversations. What I'm saying is that's ultimately, it's not become, you know, consumed by the emotion and contorted to just,
Agreed.
you know,
That's
but
not the
it's-
answer
it's-
either.
get
The
some
But there
problem,
is
the problem
no,
is, John, it's always
is
going
no
to be
answer.
contorted because no one's reporting Charlie Kirk died. They're like right-wing activists, MAGA. Like they've always
I'm
got
well
there's
aware.
always a preface to it. So there's always going to be a visceral reaction to that, because when someone who is just a normal bloke was killed, they don't say, well, he was a Greens
right-wing
left-leaning
activist,
supporter.
Right.
You know?
And what I'm saying is that, you know, to lose someone like that in the world that is kind of, you know, just going against the rising tide of all this spectacle, and actually still say, no, let's stay on point. Let's be substantial about
and
what we're
winning,
doing here. And, you know, and actually, yeah, and actually
consistently
making headway.
winning.
To get rid of someone like that makes the world a much more imbalanced kind of
And
place.
scarier place, yeah.
So
And worse
that's
all round.
right. And so that's why I'm saying it's like,
And
it's-
to make it worse, of course, again, a young at 31, not even in the prime of his life, not even old enough to run for president yet. A
Yeah.
young man with two very young children and a beautiful young wife. He could have gone on to do incredible things in the world.
yeah.
And it's been
And that's
snuffed.
what hits, dude. Like as
That's
you know,
what
as a
fucks me
dad.
too, man. As a dad,
Yeah,
exactly. As a dad, it broke me.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is that this is one of those things where it's like, as terrible as it is, and as life altering as it can be in the way that you view the shape of things, you know, there at some point in time you do have to at least try to keep your rational sense about you and operate through
Yeah,
some
I
level
know.
of discernment.
But at the same time, I'm not going to
Oh, I know.
condemn the people who beat the fuck out of the guy in the scooter.
No, of course.
I should,
It's
but
human.
I won't,
It's
because
just
I'm
human.
not surprised, and I don't think that, like, there are people out there now, right now, who are literally doing interviews saying "fuck Charlie Kirk." I support him being murdered, and those people are scum.
Right.
And if
Yeah,
I'm
if
not
somebody
saying they
wants
are.
to
the ones
walk
who
up to
kiss.
one of them and beat the shit out of them, and I happen to see it, maybe I turn the other cheek.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't think anybody should have the shit kicked out of them, to be honest. But if you've done something that has made someone incredibly irate and furious with you, and you get punched in the face for it, I mean, that's on you.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
I get what you're saying, but I think that the version of you saying it right now is going to be completely different to the version of you who's remembering it 18 months from now.
Oh, of course.
I don't think
in
I don't
18
think you'll be the same person, and
No.
I don't think that you would look at it in the same light.
No, I wouldn't. No, and that's another element of it that needs to be expected as
Right.
well. It's still very fresh. If you
Right.
go up to someone and, like, it's like my cousin, right? My uncle died when I was 12, and he's about a year younger than me, I guess. That's very, very young. And some kid mocked him for it, and he beat the shit out of that kid. And he got hauled before the headmaster and all that stuff, and got suspended from school. And we all heard about it because the family. And I was like, good. Like, if my dad had died and someone ran up and decided to start capitalizing off it, I would have smacked the shit out of him. Now, that's kids, of course. You're supposed to be more civil than that, but I can't say they don't have a right to deal with these things in their own stupid way. But in a few months from now, you know, I guarantee if someone did that to him now, he'd probably just laugh at them. You know. Anyway, DramaticaLaur is here for Australian 299 says the world can be such a scary place. Be safe, everyone. Yeah, this is the thing. Don't risk yourself getting into the tussles, by the way, no matter what I've just said about understanding it, not necessarily endorsing, but understanding it. Don't go out and go crazy and make everything worse. It's what they would do. And if
That
but,
is
you
to
know,
agree
but then
with
if
this
people do go out and riot and stuff, then it's only the world the left has asked for. So
right,
but
and
please
that's
safe.
where I'm trying
Whatever
to
you do,
say.
just be safe.
Try
St.
to be
Hugo is a
discerning
new
and don't
member.
take
Thank
the
you for
bait.
joining the Grift Force, and I really
Hey,
appreciate it.
Hugo, good to
I
see
would
everybody.
play the clip, but I
Nice.
just don't feel like it's the right tone to be playing random silly clips today. But thank you very much. And hey, guys, if you don't know what the clip is about, you go find out, because that is some big shit, and we should all be supporting it. Garrett Griffin for 10. Thank you. Amazing. Says, between Charlie Kirk and 9/11, I've decided I need some prayer and reflection today to be a better man in my corner of the world to balance the evil that's going on. It's all I can do. This is what I
Well
did
said,
instead of
man.
hyperdrive time this morning. I went back to my house and I got in bed with my wife and kids and gave them all a cuddle.
Yeah.
And then carried on watching what was by that point RK Outpost, because he was covering it live. And but that was it. I just went back to my kids and gave them a cuddle, because that poor man cannot ever do that again now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah, hugs,
that
hugs
breaks my
from the
heart.
Daughter, hugs from the daughter hit
No, in
differently.
the absence of being able to hug his kids,
Yeah.
you know, I hugged my own kids and just thank God that I was able to do that. You know, what about? I mean, I know not. I'm not the only father here. Grant, you're a dad, right?
Correct.
Have I lost my audio?
No.
No. Yeah.
Can't
Sorry,
hear anyone. Sorry.
No,
everybody.
it's just.
Can you hear me now? Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone for a second, but no, I mean, that's where my mind is at, is trying to, because there's so much happening. Some of it seems to be distraction elements. Some of it seems to just be.
Oh, when I've got this much important shit to talk about, fuck's
Right.
sake.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you saying important shit and for fuck's sake. So
Yeah, you
there
were
we
still
go.
coming through fine. I don't know if you could.
but
Hear
yeah,
us,
I couldn't
as
hear
you said,
you.
yes, I'm a father, and yeah, hugging the kids, hugging my daughter today, it hit different.
Yeah, hit different. Exactly. Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate you. Disgusting for the Bulgarian 10 says in the past hour alone, posts from the leftists are getting more and more unhinged, partly rage baiting, but mostly celebrating. This is going to be this is going to spiral very quickly. Stay safe, everyone. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, don't fall for the bait. Like, I've got some examples of it. I think it's really bad, by the way. This is as good a time as any to bring it up. There's a few here that I have. Yeah, Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge shared earlier on. Oh, well, it's disappeared now. But the original post said, breaking news, Charlie Kirk loses gun debate.
Yeah.
So that's disgusting. And just let me take this off screen for a second while I look for another one. Then there was another one who shared, surely people on the right will now stop calling for the of Hassan. I don't know that anyone has.
Yeah. No.
I don't know anyone who's called for him to be killed. I know plenty of people who've called for him to be deplatformed and jailed, but not killed. You know? No. Surely they'll take a moment to think their words have real world consequences. Absolutely insane. Completely insane. Stupid.
After a decade of completely undermining the concept of fascism and what Nazis are, this is just kind of
exactly. Of course, we have the legendary MSNBC completely failing to grasp any semblance
Oh
of
yeah,
the
this
tone.
was absolutely insane. Trying to put it on one of his own fans.
They ran into
Couldn't
this
believe that.
absolutely blind, like incompetent deer in headlights, as always, and said, "Oh, it might have been a supporter shooting off their gun in celebration." Absolutely insanity. I don't know what else to say about it.
And that's supposedly a professional outlet. That's,
right. Because
it gets way worse too.
people fire their guns off in celebration so much these
At
days.
people.
I mean, this isn't the Wild West. You know,
No.
people aren't just generally, you know, hey, woo!
Even if you think about the death of Dimebag, for example,
right.
from Pantera, that fan was insane. And he didn't shoot his gun randomly. He shot Dimebag. He got up on stage and shot Dimebag, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
we have
ludicrous.
Representing the parts of the pop culture that we actually do cover. We have this, by the way, which definitely deserves to be shared. Sucker Punch Senior Dev has celebrated it. This is Drew from Blue Sky, of course. They tweeted that he hoped that the shooter's name is Mario, so that Luigi, as in Luigi, was it Mangione, knows that his bro's got his back. And also reposted another one that that Charlie Kirk apparently died doing what he loved, being a transphobic racist bigot.
Yeah.
You don't hate these people enough.
No.
Okay. We also have from representing the comic book industry, and thank you to MagesGuild for sharing this one out earlier on. I can't think of what her bloody name is.
Gertrude,
it's on here.
Or whatever.
Get Gretchen Felker Martin.
Yeah.
Which to me looks like a bloke.
Mm.
But you know, whatever. Says DC cancelled the Douche Canoes comic series, but there's no announcement yet that they've sacked the Cuddle Cow. This is someone who's responsible for writing Red Hood, issue 1, which has now apparently been cancelled. So good news there. I'm not for cancel culture, but I'm also not for this. And finally, I have a video that I
accountability
think
in
will
action, you know,
likely make us all murderously angry, but let's try to keep calm. We have this pair of idiots right here.
Do you support his death?
I do.
You support his death?
Fuck Charlie Kirk.
You support Charlie Kirk being killed?
Yes, I do.
On the day he died, you're here at a vigil for Charlie Kirk, and you support his death.
Do you support a Nazi?
No, I don't support a Nazi. Charlie Kirk wasn't a Nazi. You support his shooter?
Yep, sure do. Freedom.
You support Charlie Kirk's shooter?
Sure do. He does all favors.
Would you shoot somebody like Charlie Kirk?
I would have killed myself.
You would have killed him yourself. Okay.
I know exactly where that is.
You know who that is?
No, I said I know exactly where that is. Like
you know where that is, right?
Yeah, I used to work right in that.
Oh, it's in Seattle, right? Yeah.
So.
Well, there you go. So, scum of the earth there. Absolute scum of the earth. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, these people are beyond fucked in the head. Fantastically, amazingly brilliant drops £20. That's some legit currency, and I am very grateful. Thank you. Says, hail Will and panel. Sigh. It's raining hard now where I live. The perfect weather for how I'm feeling right now. It's been a very long time since I felt so sad and so angry. I knew he was young, but only 31.
Yeah.
It's a dark
next
day.
Month.
Yeah. He was going to be 32. Yeah. It's a dark fucking day. Like I said at the top of the stream, congratulations, leftists. You managed to do it. You managed to fuck up all our shit, all of our mood, all of our, you know, roll. 2025 had been quite the amazing year for, you know, reclaiming sanity. But apparently that was too much to ask.
They might have actually galvanized those who were moderate. And I genuinely think that there is a lot of people who were moderate left and moderate right who are definitely shifting one way versus the other based on everything that's happened so far. Because when you've got left-wing pundits coming out saying that you cannot do this to people who you politically disagree with, people who would go out there and yell and scream and everything at their opponents and saying this is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to make a difference.
I'm sure it will
feel
affect
like
the midterm election next year as well.
Yeah, there's no middle ground anymore, is there?
The
It's-
reactionary.
you do,
Yeah.
right? I agree 100%. I feel like the middle ground has literally just been eroded.
Right.
They're
I
not
feel
just
like
saying punch a Nazi anymore.
No.
Well,
know?
here's the thing: we all agreed with punch a Nazi. We just disagreed with what a Nazi is.
Who a Nazi is, yeah.
Right.
Mm.
And you know, and that's the thing is, to what you're saying, Will. Yeah, the reactionaryism of these people to just be so disaffected, debased, deranged,
Like that
completely
video,
just celebratory of this
Good for
whole
him.
thing.
Good for
That
this.
is, you know, it's I mean, 5 years ago when this world broke with the social contagion, the hive mind vector of you know, if you don't get a jab, you deserve to get, you know, put in a camp or fucking put to death and all this kind of stuff. The way that certain elements of the world
And
have
that's
just
Jimmy Kimmel.
gravitated towards have just gravitated towards this dehumanized outlook is just astonishing.
It's funny you bring up Kimmel, actually. In a rare, ultra rare Kimmel W, Kimmel said, just for one day, instead of angry finger pointing, can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human?
Yeah.
So Kimmel there desperately trying to keep the wreckage of his show from completely capsizing. But, you know, respect where it's due. Kimmel gets a W on this one. And, I mean, not that it's a hard shot,
one, but
you know.
Yeah, it's a lowercase W, but you know, it's
a very lowercase W. I mean, the guy is responsible for most of peddling. Sorry, a large chunk of the rhetoric that led to this has come out of this dickhead's garbage tier mouth. But
yeah,
you know, if it was Trump, I guarantee he wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah, and that's the thing that, you know, that's why I'm trying to be, I suppose, a little bit more reserved and pragmatic about this. I don't know that we're ever going to know the full depth of anything that transpired yesterday, and if we do, it will only lead to more questions.
I don't know that we need to.
And
I think enough. I think enough is known.
Right,
a good man's dead.
Right,
his children are fatherless.
Right,
his wife is a widow.
Right,
he was 31. And he did nothing except just have conversations, try to understand.
Right, and see the way that you know, people are reacting to it is far more horrifying. You know, in certain ways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly not more tragic, but it is more just kind of just like, what is this world? You know.
Well, the world's changed. The world has changed irrevocably at this point now. There really is no turning back from this at this point. Like, there's just too much has happened. It's too far now. There's innocent blood, you know, and they can say whatever they like to try and cope with what their side has done,
because it's nothing that you could ever justify.
When they get older, and some of them might even end up with kids and stuff like that. Some of them might even grow out of this, and there'll be people walking the earth in 10 years who feel very differently. They're not necessarily a lot of them, but plenty enough that will go, I can't believe I was cheering for that. You know?
Yeah, it's exactly the same, although it's the other way around. It's exactly the same as all those people who posted videos of themselves crying because Trump wasn't killed.
Yeah, I know.
It's the same mental
there's
disease.
been montages. I think Vince Dow or someone did a video where he showed a montage, or I think maybe Bearing or someone like that showed a montage of TikTok videos of people playing like video game victory themes and stuff like people playing like the music when you win a race in Mario Kart and stuff like that. While and not saying anything, but it says Charlie Kirk has been shot on the screen. So, scum of the earth, scum of the. You're never going to beat this problem as long as people are out there thinking that that is somehow in any way acceptable, not just socially, but morally, ethically. Like, they're inhuman.
Yeah, it's
when
broken brains.
When I grew up, I was, I guess, for lack of a better term, an angst-ridden edgelord of sorts, and somewhere along the way, because I've always been fairly rebellious, and one of the most rebellious things anyone can do in this weird clown world is try to be a little bit more rational and compassionate and understanding. I'm far from perfect, but it's like this, just the way that people are just completely devoid of any conscience at this point
It's insanity, and you've never seen anything like it. Like, we're all old enough men now sitting here, we're all in our 40s, right? And we've all grown up in a world that to a certain point had this sort of unwritten law of humanity: what you do, what you don't do, what you laugh at, what you never laugh at, and there isn't very much that we would say is not okay to laugh at until we started to see stuff like this, and the certainty, the arrogant zealotry on the behavior and the rhetoric of these people. Oh, I would definitely have done it myself. Are you sure about that, buddy? Do you really want to be on the internet having said that forever? You might feel different one day. Maybe you should think. But maybe they'll get worse. Who fucking knows? Maybe the entire generation is ruined. And that would be the big victory for the people who created this situation in the first place. Anyway, John Grant for $10. Thank you, guys. You're being crazy generous today. I appreciate it. Of course, it's a very awful day, and I hope we're helping. I really do. Says thanks for discussing this. Yeah, of course. I mean, what were we gonna do? Come on here and start talking about Nintendo and Veilguard?
Just as disingenuous, and
it would be a mockery.
Yeah, and just kind of, that would be the same thing. We're sitting here chastising, but in a different way,
Yeah, it'd be like if I was sitting here slagging off Alyssa McCante or something.
Yeah,
it's like there are bigger things in the world, man. Like, the whole world stopped today for a little bit. It's a strange thing. I never realized how much and how many cared. I didn't know I cared that much. I liked Charlie Kirk. I thought he was a good bloke, when I never thought that his life was in danger, And now that he's gone, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy was important. That's one of the silver linings, I suppose. You've made him more powerful than you can possibly imagine. You've Obi-Wan'd him, Now his message will be shared from everybody. I heard Megyn Kelly earlier on going, call me Turning Point USA. I'll go to your events and I'll answer questions exactly as Charlie would have. There'll be 10 Charlie Kirks before you can know it.
Yeah,
and that's good for the movement, but no one's bringing back those children's father, and that's unforgivable. Fantastically, amazingly brilliant for £50. My goodness, guys. It says, just to add, I've seen comments here on YouTube on other channels pretending to genuinely care, but you can tell it's insincere when they use words like unhinged or accuse Charlie Kirk of attacking certain groups of protected people, all the while acting sincere. Yeah, it's complete fraud. Like, the reality is, I've never seen Charlie Kirk, even in internet terms, attack someone. Like, you might say, oh, Smash JT gets attacked all the time by people who are constant. Well, actually, no, that's a bad idea, because he really does get attacked. Like, it crosses that line. An argument on the internet is an attack, in 2025. Charlie Kirk didn't do that. That's not what he did. He sat there and said, ask me anything. and I'll try to convince you of what I believe and why I think you should believe it. And he would do it by turning, as we've said, by turning their arguments inside out and back to front and having them basically defeat themselves.
Yeah. If anything, he was, you know, a proponent of people doing their own research and actually looking into the substance of things rather than just taking it on trust me bros and, you know, all this kind of insanity that is just far too common now.
Yeah. And one thing, you'd have to be sociopathic yourself to be unable to see that Charlie Kirk was, in fact, definitively sincere in everything he did. Like, there was nothing about the guy that was artificial. You know, there was no facade. There was just Charlie. And that's another thing that I fucking despise about this. Like, almost anybody else would have upset me less. If it was Ben Shapiro, I'd be like, well, he did piss a lot of people off over that whole Palestine thing. But I'd still be gutted because, you know, he doesn't deserve that. No one does. But, you know, again, it's almost anybody else in this who's a more active participant in the slagging off that goes on in the culture war. I'd, again, not be happy, not remotely happy, but I would be able to understand it better. What I don't understand here is why Charlie Kirk, the most respectful and benign person in right-wing politics, you know, it's disgusting. St. Hugo for €5, and thank you. Says, speaking from experience, the most gut-wrenching thing to do is to tell your kids, that your spouse is not coming back home.
Yeah,
that's happened today. That poor woman had to tell her kids where daddy's is now. What happened to daddy? If they don't already know, if they haven't already seen it.
I'm pretty sure those kids were young. I think that they were probably there.
They were there.
I think I heard they were.
They went everywhere. They were with him.
Yeah.
The whole family was there. But the thing is that there's still going to be a level of explanation that's going to be required.
Oh,
they were young. Like the girl was maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old at most. I mean, he was only married for 4 years. Doesn't seem like the type to have a kid before marriage.
No.
Being devout as he is. So that's a 4-year-old girl. You seen it when he was on Fox and Friends. When they finally let him on Fox News. They finally started to take him seriously, and he was on Fox and Friends. And there's a clip that he was very nice and let go out on the internet, and it was his little girl walking up onto the stage and going, "Daddy," you know, and running over to him, and I saw it earlier on, and oh god, no, please, oh god, the worst thing ever.
Yeah, the thing of it is it also exposes the mass hypocrisy of these people who constantly espouse coexistence and tolerance, peace and love, and all this kind of stuff. And it's you know, we call them virtue signalers more often than not, but
he didn't need to signal anything. He was virtuous.
No, he was actually he actually had principles and values, and
he had virtue.
And to, like, you know, now see, you know, these people that I do refer to as just virtue signalers actually showing their pride and their glee and sheer just celebratory manic state from this. It's just like, I don't even know like how we breathe the same air, because it doesn't seem to function for the same reasons.
Right. Yeah, it's inhuman. And when I say that, I don't mean it's, you know, reprehensible, they condemn them all. I mean, it's completely alien. I can't understand it. I can't understand how you can look at this objectively, clearly good man and see an evil bigot. I just can't see it. I'll never understand. What is wrong with you? What happened to make you think this way? You know?
Yeah, it's absolutely, like, it's real brainwashing, and it's coming at people from every angle. It's coming from entertainment, it's coming from schools, it's coming from politicians, and it's just, I mean, someone like you or I can see that it's clearly bullshit, but they get them, I guess they get them young enough that they can brainwash them.
Exactly.
That is kind of the point.
That's
what's
how
the
it's been
cure?
going. We're 20 years too late to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now there's so much that would have to be broken and beyond repair and damaged and blood on the ground for
And you can't even do it externally. You know,
no.
all this stuff takes an internal motivation.
No, I mean at the end of the day,
actually,
they've successfully destabilized and demoralized the nation. Sorry,
yeah,
go on.
if you lack empathy, you know, for yourself, then there's no way that you're ever going to have it for anyone else. You
Right.
know, and most of these people are just consumed with a high-mindedness of arrogance and victimization simultaneously.
Yeah,
And
the
so,
echo chamber.
yeah, and so they're either, you know, such on a moral high ground that you can't say anything to ever make them, you know, rethink their position or do a little bit of internal accounting, or
Yeah.
they feel so put upon because you've actually gone and made a valid point that they can't refute, and the
Well, that's
cognitive
the thing,
dissonance
isn't it?
kicks in, and then they immediately have to, you know, turn you
They
into
feared his words.
Yeah.
They had no way to beat him because he, again, was kind, courteous, and considerate in his rhetoric. He let them talk. He gave them the rope. And then when they wrapped themselves up in logical knots and tangles and made no sense, they were forced to concede that nothing they were saying was valid and that they had actually no argument whatsoever. And just parroting what you've been told to say doesn't actually win arguments against anybody with even the most bare level of critical thought.
Right.
So they had no way to beat him. None.
Right.
Unless they resorted to violence.
Right.
Which they had to.
Which
It's
just
fucking-
further exposed the weakness that they had in their ability to actually discern to begin with.
Yeah.
They don't look at it as weakness. They're like, well, I may be weak, but you are dead, so therefore
Right.
I win.
Right. And
Right.
that's what I'm saying is
It's worse. Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean,
Scum.
I
It's
don't
the
know.
same in Butler too. MagesGuild says for $2 we had casualties in Butler, Pennsylvania too. Yeah, that poor fireman guy.
Yeah.
Another one that made me like well up when I heard that he had literally shielded his daughter and his wife from the bullet that killed him.
that got me, and I don't even have kids.
Everything changed when I had kids. You don't think it will that much, but the profundity of how much it will change you is something everyone should probably experience. But it makes you stronger, but it makes you more vulnerable at the same time to things you
Yeah,
never
like-
thought of.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember, like, I don't need to be a father to know empathy for, you know,
Another human
a
being.
kid. And
Oh,
then
Yeah.
dude, the moment that you see a kid get hurt on a TV series that's like a children's thing, and you start to look like, what the fuck am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
it just like you stop viewing the world as something that you're a part of, and it's something that can hurt your child. Every single
Yeah.
thing you look
Right.
at it that way, and it's the hardest thing to remove your mindset from.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And that's the way we're wired. So
yeah,
there's no
like
reason to do it.
yeah, fundamentally, I never believed in a like a physical biological like thing. Like I never believed that. I believe that every single person's experience dictates how they feel. Then I became a dad who spent my child's first month of their life in an ICU, and it just there's nothing that humbles you more than that. Like, if you're not a God-fearing man, you are after that. Plain and simple.
I was praying. I was in the chapel. I've never been religious, but I would have given anything. And I did. I gave a lot of money, and I'm glad it was only that I had to give, to be honest.
Yeah, and when something like this takes place, and it you aren't, you know, humbled for a moment of reflection and pause, and you just immediately go to just a weird kind of deranged, celebratory, manic state. You know, like that is such an indictment on your lack of compassion and just anything inside you that is anything close to, what would be seen as being human. This is such a weird kind of thing, like if you can't actually look at this for just the tragedy of what this man's family has lost, and you're just immediately just like, oh well, this is just a data point in me kind of feeling like, oh, I finally got a win in some way. And it's like, what do you win out of this? How can
you don't win when other people lose. That's the biggest problem. That you win when you succeed.
Right.
True.
But a lot of people look at it as, if my opponent loses, that's a win for me.
Right. And
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's not, because the people who are cheering and are celebrating will wake up tomorrow and they'll still be the same pathetic husks, depressed at the world. They'll still be like, who said it? Maybe Bearing again. I saw his video earlier on it, which was very lovely, by the way, for a channel that does as much snark as he does. He was dead serious for this one video, and it was really good. People all over the world, by the way, deeply affected by this on levels they never thought they would be.
Yeah,
myself
dude,
included.
I watched the 9/11 attacks happen live as a fucking 16-year-old kid.
I watched, me too, same age as well.
And I seen certain things, and you get sort of desensitized over stuff, but I don't even know why, but this one has made me
I think it's because there's two reasons. The first is we're on the same side, if you like. Like, there's no point arguing it. There are sides, and we're on one of them. So there's that. Then there's the fact that he was such an open book of a man. So you got to know him like really well, and you probably really respected his values. And then there's the other element of it, which is that you're a father, and that is the part that really drums it home for me. It's like, those poor kids, that poor woman, what did he think when it was all coming to an end?
He's a young fella as well. That's like, for me, it's just like,
that's worse.
It's like, fuck, he's younger than my wife. Like, it's a weird thing. It's just like, oh fuck, like he's got a 2.5, 3-year-old kid that absolutely adores him.
And a girl.
And the worst part about it is, like, they're going to be 10 and they're not going to know the sound of their father's voice from memory. Like,
yeah, I'll only have the videos. Yeah.
And you can guarantee that if they ever get into an argument with any kid at school, the kid's going to pull out the video of their dad being killed, because it's fucking everywhere.
Shit, yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm thinking that will be largely taken down soon, but yeah, you never know.
Well, unfortunately, you know how they say
the internet is forever. Yeah,
the internet is forever, and you can't ever erase anything that gets posted.
Elon won't take it down because he's an advocate of free expression, and this is one part of the darker side of that you can't say, well, no one should be able to show that, yet you want people to show
the sword,
what happened with that poor Ukrainian woman as well. When you want something shown, like, it's
I've seen that now. Yeah,
both killed by someone hitting them in the neck. Like,
I know.
It's fucking weird, right?
That the iron, well, not the coincidence wasn't lost on me either. I was like, the neck again? Like, this is one of the many thoughts I had.
Right.
The neck. Again, another one in the neck. What the fuck? It's weird. It's weird. But yeah, I can't remember why I even brought up Bearing now. Doesn't matter.
He did a nice video compared to some of his normal, like, yeah. And also, Bearing, you should have come on my show last week. He pulled out.
Oh, well, if you ever do get to get him on your show, get me on too. I'd like to talk to him.
For sure, man.
Awesome. Smash JT gifted 5 Will of the Fans memberships, and we thank you very much for that, sir. Appreciate you. I saw a bit of his stream earlier on. He talked about this as well, and it's probably not that easy to do that on your own. So Although I don't know if people joined him or anything because I only saw like the first half hour or so. But good show, and another one who's reflecting on this the same reasons that me and Grant are. You know, married, father of a couple of kids. You know, it rattles you because we're not all that like. Okay, Charlie Kirk was much bigger in terms of platform than any of us. You know. But doing largely the same thing and for the same reasons and killed for it.
Let's call a spade. He's definitely braver than either of us or any of us in the panel, because I'm not going to a university and doing that. Yeah, like,
well, he's one of the bravest men ever, really, when you think about it. This guy spent his time unarmed and unguarded, apparently, in enemy territory, arguing with them, like regularly, constantly,
arguing in the most civil of
and being
of
as
manners.
nice as possible to
Yeah,
people
like,
that probably hated him.
Yeah, to the point that I would say that he wasn't even arguing; they were. You know, he was just there having a debate. You know, and that's ultimately why he was so effective. Is, you know, he knew what he was going to be talking about because it actually came from somewhere. You know, and there was a lot of thought and time and consideration that went into the things that he would say, and it wasn't just bombastic vitriol or, you know, hide-minded messaging.
Well considered argumentation, you know, like an actual real argument.
Right? Yeah, and not only that, he was extremely faith-based, and that's the reason why you're seeing a bunch of like Muslims, Jews, you know, Christians, Catholics. They're all coming out in you know, defense of him, saying, like, you know, he was a God-fearing man, and that's that's what they respected and loved about the guy. Like, the fact of the matter is, you've got people from opposing religions that they're coming out condemning it and saying that the reason that, like, people on, you know, the Christian side love him is the same reason that they do.
Yeah,
because
I truly believe when you operate in good faith.
Faith-based people want faith-based people, because there's nothing worse than someone who's not. When you're in that, and there's someone who will go against, like, it goes back to the ancient war times when you would fight. It's like, okay, don't hurt the priests, don't hurt the women.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's still that weird mentality when it comes to certain stuff, and then
there should be.
I don't know, man. It's just fucking weird that people who I've known all my life, who I would consider good people, are celebrating it, and now I sit and question everything.
Yeah. No,
I mean, there's an internal flaw of the heart and the mind, if not even the soul, at that point in time. Like I was saying earlier,
captured.
Yeah, and
ideologically captured. I like that expression because this is what it is.
Yeah, and they're held captive by something that just goes beyond their capacity to even break free from, and
it's baffling.
It's beyond tragic. And
the reason I compare it to Stockholm syndrome is because these people are pathetically, desperately dependent and obsessively almost in love and raptured with something that is bad for them.
Yeah, and quite honestly, you don't even need to have a specific religion to treat people in good faith. You know, you don't.
I mean, I don't have a particular religion. Right. I was christened, but I've never really practiced. I've never been to church for a reason other than a wedding or a funeral.
Right.
You know, except when my wife wants to go light a candle for some reason. They're very religious here. I'm fine to do that. But of course, when my child was in hospital, I was praying every day. I don't generally pray, but I am open to the concept. Right. Spent a few years as a very angry anti-theist, but that was a different time in my life. I woke up one day and realized that the world was better when people of faith were in it, running around doing nice things, and not in that way that's like, you know, oh, I'm afraid that I'll go to hell if I don't.
Right.
but because they want to spread the good news, you know, that they want to spread positive vibes into the world and make everybody else happier and more free and more able to access the love that's potentially in their hearts and feel it and spread it into the world. And that was Charlie Kirk.
Right. And this kind of thing exposes that flaw of their lack of faith and just their dogmatic tendencies to adhere to whatever their religion of choice may be, even if it's just some silly charts and graphs and, you know, some kind of statistical whatever.
Well, I mean, science is a religion now, isn't it?
Indeed it is. You know, trust the science, right? When science is always supposed to be
believe the science,
right?
Believe.
And science has always been, science is questioning the very nature of the question that you're questioning. That's
that's
the
that's old science. The new science is always right.
Right.
Yeah. Anyone says you should trust the science is no scientist, and that's ironic, you know.
Right.
Because the whole concept of science is to be humble and open, that you might be wrong about anything you thought even a second ago at any time.
Right.
Anyway, carrying on. Fantastically, amazingly brilliant has done another £50. Jesus Christ. What this is a mad day. Under any other circumstances, I would say let's play Jackbox immediately. I also kind of am on the fence about that because I feel like it might not be appropriate at all to start cracking dirty and dark jokes on a day like today. But I tell you what I could suggest is, I don't know if you guys are free this time tomorrow. We could potentially fire up a stream and play it then.
I think so.
Possibly.
How dark of a joke can I go?
You're pretty damn dark.
All
pretty,
the way.
We play Jackbox games and you do Quiplash. I know you're an
Well, you've been on my stream with my people. You know how we go.
Mate, I used to make Madeline McCann jokes on it, so I reckon you're probably okay.
I used to make Helen Keller jokes, but no one understood them.
Right, you can do them if you want. Yeah, there's really no rules when we play Jackbox. We play Quiplash. It's like get as fucked up as you can, and you'll win. You know, or mention Alyssa McCante. You know, maybe tomorrow then. I think if you guys are open to it, we could do it same time tomorrow. Just a Jackbox stream, as by way of thank you for the very generous support of this stream. I just feel like if we marry it to this stream, it's kind of like spitting in Charlie's face a little bit, you know. So I don't know, maybe chat. What do you reckon? You up for that? I think chat's usually up for whatever. So, but there we go. Thank you. She says, I just can't take it anymore. I just can't. Every time I hear and see people celebrating his passing, I'm tearing up right now and getting angrier and angrier. I'm sorry, Will, but I just can't do it. I don't know what to do with my emotions right now. Talk to somebody is my advice. And if this helped at all, then I'm very grateful.
Go find a pillow and take out all your frustrations on it. Call it every ethnic slur that you want. Punch it, elbow it, kick it, do what you need to do.
Drop, you know, yeah. Look, just whatever you have to do it. But don't do anything self-destructive. So don't try to look in the bottom of a bottle for it or anything like that, you know. But you know, we're here and we feel it too. It is a dark, grave injustice that has been done. And there's no real silver lining because there's going to be these fatherless children. And there are motherfuckers out there who are cheering it on. Disgusting.
Yeah.
The one silver lining that I look at it is that the guy was so loved that there's going to be so many people that are going to be out there to support the family. That's the only silver lining I can look at it. Like, it's not like he was a recluse.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
and you can always go into the Discord, by the way. You can always go into the Discord. You're in there, I think, and talk to everybody else in there as well.
Yeah, and that would be my suggestion is try to you know, the things I was just talking about. Try to explore the depth of your humanity and find your faith. You know, and I'm not saying, you know, put on a hat of religion or anything like that necessarily. I'm just saying, you know, like hold to your principles and your values, and you know, and don't get consumed by the pride and turn this into just, you know, be substantive. You know, don't be spectacular. You know, like, and that's a weird. I'm sure most people are probably like, how the hell is this even the guy who calls himself the problematic white guy saying all this shit today? But this is
right, because your name is ironic,
right. You know, but that's the thing.
Isn't that
like,
the point?
Yeah.
You're still a guy. That's the point. You're still a man.
Right.
He hasn't caused me any problems, you know.
But like this thing, if you've had any interaction with Charlie or anything like that, this is what you do: save up all your good memories and write a note or do whatever it is, and let the kids know when they're older. You know, if you ever get a chance to meet any of the kids when they're older, explain to them what interaction that you had.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have an interaction with him, explain what he meant to you at this moment, right here, right now, how you feel.
Yeah.
Put that into a note. Write that into a note. Let this little girl know when she's a teenager that this guy who was as the father wasn't just someone who was in her life that she absolutely adored, which we can see by all the clips, but someone who meant something. And not only that, doesn't just mean something because he died, meant something years later.
Yeah.
The best note that you can ever get is something that's happened years after someone's passed, and they say, this is what this person meant to me.
That sounds beautiful, man. It really does. That's a good idea. Do that. You never know. And I'm imagining that the children are hopefully being given all the support and possibly even seeing some of the response online from the good people who are mourning, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I was literally walking up the street this afternoon on my way to go and pick up some t-shirts and stuff that I had printed, and I was miserable. And I was like, what the fuck's wrong with me? My family just got back. And I was like, I'm mourning Charlie Kirk. I'm actually mourning someone I never met. And what he meant, what he represented, what he tried to do. I'm actually mourning. It probably won't last all that long. It will be a few days probably. But that's actually happening. And so I still, that's when I sort of realized, like, this guy means a
But dude,
lot.
isn't that a beautiful thing? Someone that
Yes.
you've never met that lives on the other side of the planet. You've got a genuine emotion to the point where it's stopping you in your tracks. It's not I'm doing it for clicks. It's not a hyperbole thing. It's something that you've sat back and you thought, and you just went,
This is the worst.
fuck. And it's different to like when you watch, you know, like when people watch like the Red Wedding on like Game of Thrones, when they were, you know, they could rationalize it afterwards. You know, there's an actor, we've got to see him again. But this was the same thing, but it was
He's really dead
with consequences.
Yeah, real world consequences. The world is a worse place because Charlie Kirk isn't in it anymore. There you go. And now I don't subscribe to that whole philosophy that even Charlie Kirk said, even he said he hates that the self-esteem culture. The world is better because I'm in it. But the world was better because he was in it. Because he was saying things
certainly
like
a brighter kind of situation, more compassionate and thoughtful kind of space.
And there'll be developments, there'll be repercussions in the next few days. Guarantee there'll be knock-on effects, chain reactions. I don't know what they're going to be yet. I haven't got a fucking clue. Couldn't even begin to guess.
Right.
But there we go. All right, let's move on, and we can begin to think about wrapping this one up. Scooby Pop 01, member for 3 months, says sad game devs, politician, comics, and more are happy. Yes, we did have a look at some of them earlier on. Disgraceful. Frankly, when it comes to that dev from Ghost of Woke, I tweeted earlier on. I said I didn't give a crap. I was not interested in Ghost of Yote in the first place, and now I'm actively interested in its failure. There's a boycott now because of this dev, and good. Because this proves it ain't just Erika Ishii who's out there spouting all this woke left-wing communist bullshit.
Yeah, it's the entire lot.
Must be if this random dev is coming out and going on Blue Sky and celebrating Charlie Kirk.
You know, they say the fish the fish rots from the head down. You know,
and it also goes to show that my previous theories, when there are mass layoffs, that devs are usually just put upon workers who want nothing to do with the politics, was probably wrong. So I like to try and be. I'm very much a give the benefit of the doubt kind of guy, where I can be. That in most of my life outside the internet, that's my first approach to most situations. And that's only become more so since I had kids. But in this case, when you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah, no, the game industry is a very different place than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. All the people that made this and that's part of the reason why we see this year that things that are resonating with people are these older titles or things that are made kind of
retro
in that
games,
spirit.
indie games, remakes.
You know, right, because it's not consumed by all this stuff. I remember being, you know, I used to go to GDC during my college years, and you know, back then I was sitting here telling everybody about where we're at right now, you know, and everyone was like, John's
on crack, John's a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. And it's just like you could see.
I mean, right, but you were also correct as well. So,
well, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm pristine. You know, I certainly do have quite a few fractures in my.
Somebody better pick up that phone because John fucking called it.
But you know, the situation that we're in, it was created to be thus over a course of years. That's why they started in their HR and their PR areas, and then just filtered it out, and then ultimately that became the concentration of all of this. So you don't even have to have necessarily a top-down directive. It's just everyone there is already ideologically in alignment, and so you know,
it's impossible to find right now because if you put Charlie Kirk assassination into Google, you're not going to find anything but headlines. But he was another one who in many ways predicted this fate. Maybe not for himself, but he tweeted that assassination culture had become far too prevalent in the United States, and tempers needed to go down. Remember when Trump got shot and the left and the media were all like, we need to tone down the rhetoric. We need to tone down the rhetoric. Well,
I didn't notice any change really
it's
after
a year on.
some virtue signaling statements that were said for about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, that's
weeks.
the limit. About 4 or 5 days, and
so
right back to demonizing their enemies. Yeah.
Are we assuming it's RFK next year? Then this time next year, that's going to get shot.
No, but I'm not placing bets either. That's dark.
I mean, yeah.
And then JD Vance. That's how I'm assuming. I think it went. It went Trump. They couldn't get rid of Trump. All right, they're going to get rid of the person who's not necessarily the next version, but the future version. Because if he was born 3 months early, he could legitimately run in 4 years' time and have all the youth. Well, he's gone. So
well, RFK is certainly another guy who does speak from a knowledge base and an actual sense of compassion and consideration.
I like RFK.
But
I think if there's another silver lining, it would be that the security detail on almost every important figure on the right is now going to be up the ass. So,
dude,
there's another element. By the way,
Trump doesn't even have that intensive a security detail. He was shot at.
I know. Well,
there's a lot of security
they fucked
that
up,
he has
didn't they?
now than when he was at fucking Pennsylvania. That's the weird thing.
That was the Secret Service under Biden, of course.
Yeah.
But whatever. That's also worth remembering. There's a lot of people. I mean, the police chief of the of Utah, wherever they were shot, not Charlotte. That was the poor Ukrainian woman.
Ukrainian lady.
Yeah. Wherever they were in Utah.
No. Yeah. This is in Utah. Yeah, North Carolina.
The police chief of the local area is basically, he gave a statement and he knows he's fucked. You could tell he knows he's out of a job. Ultimately, the thing is, you're looking for one or a handful of people out of about 3,000 people that were there, just on the quarter university.
There's
It's very
100,000
difficult.
people on campus.
Yeah, I mean it's the biggest university in America, isn't it?
Yeah.
Utah, whatever it is. Well, there you go. Anyway, look, let's press on. P Drake 10 for €2 says, "How is prove me wrong attacking anything?" Right?
Exactly.
It's effectively saying, "Test my shield." That's just the opposite of
Well,
an
I'm going to
attack.
test it with a bullet.
Right. Right.
And that is truly the last resort of somebody who can't actually
win.
stand in an ideological
I mean,
They don't,
battleground.
dude,
So
they don't
Yeah,
care
playing
about
chess.
that. That's the
playing
point.
chess,
I'm saying they don't care.
Exactly, they don't care.
Right.
They're playing
It's
chess.
not
and
who's right, it's who's left over. That's
they
what they care
flip
about.
tape. They
If
flip
all you
over-
can do is delete someone, you're not proving them wrong, you're proving them right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He's ultimately been proven right about so many things today, but I'm hesitant to revel in it at all because of the cost. You know, but
Is
Cool.
that's the
Way too
problem
high.
that they say you may be right, but I'm alive and you are dead. Therefore,
Yeah.
I win.
right, you're absolutely right. Like I
Like
said,
that,
it's like a chess game when you just flip the table because you can't win. It's like,
Yeah,
ha ha ha, I beat you.
I didn't
How did you
lose,
win?
therefore I'm better than you.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't lose. I ended the game on my own terms.
And then I shot you.
Jesus Christ.
So,
What's the matter,
randomly,
Rhoda?
so I'm not. There's nothing wrong with saying this. It just seems a little bit odd given the circumstance that I'm actually bringing it back to pop culture a bit. But it's kind of reminds me of an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where Worf and some of the others are captured and like they're made to face off in these battles, and like the big guy who keeps beating Worf refused to fight him again because he said, I can't defeat him, I can only kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually fairly noble. Yeah.
And then he bangs Jax.
Yeah.
I can't remember Deep Space Nine. I only saw a few random episodes of it. So there we go. But I do remember liking it a lot. It was actually I liked it better than TNG when I first saw it.
Yeah, me
'Cause
too.
I hadn't seen TNG.
The
at that point.
motherfucking Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco was badass. Yeah.
Cisco is cool, yeah.
According to Gamer Baron, for $2, Blue Sky want to cancel Corone. My trans joy. Yeah, I saw something in chat about this. Apparently, this streamer called Corone or something is a Japanese or whatever streamer has decided to play Hogwarts Legacy, and apparently 2-3 years on. It's 2 years, something like 2.5 years on. The left still coping over Hogwarts Legacy. Someone posted on fucking Vanilla Sky. Coroner is scheduled to play the Turf Wizard game. Unfollowed, unsubscribed. So they've already moved on from this. Now they're all campaigning at the next person.
Right.
I
Because they
think
have
that
no.
I think that was actually a few hours before. I think that story is actually a few hours older.
That's worse.
Yeah.
That means that they cared so little about this that no, fuck it, whatever. Anyway, that's pathetic. Obviously, tiny, useless, rubbish, stupid. Someone wrote, "May her head roll." Called her a, I can't think of anything it rhymes with. The side supporter. May her head roll. Apparently, they've learned nothing from this. I think it's up to the right to teach them, but I don't necessarily know how anyone should go about that. Remember, might doesn't necessarily make right. But of course, if there were no more leftists, I'm not going to say a damn word. MagesGuild have to turn in soon for schedule. Be seeing you. Thank you, and sorry that I'm late to get to this one. MagesGuild, appreciate you coming, and thank you for the super chats. Appreciate you. Furious Dan for $5 says, "Will go check your DMs and share this with the chat." Alrighty then. Let me have a look. Hold on a second, folks, while I peruse my DMs. By the way, I'm not meaning to sound so flippant at the moment. It's just that I actually do feel so much better for having had this conversation.
Yeah.
It's been really cathartic because I'm gonna go right back to feeling fucking awful about all of this in a few minutes, but it has been great to share everything.
Yeah,
with,
that's the best way to get through anything is to share it.
it is always.
Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, like if something really great is happening and you share it, it makes it better. And if something really bad is happening and you share it, it makes it better.
Well, I mean,
not better,
essence,
but
that's
easier
what
to
Charlie
cope with.
Kirk was doing. That's why he was
Apparently,
engaging in
Ghost of
conversation.
Yote has announced a beer collaboration with Sapporo. Or Sapporo. No, Sapporo. Double P. Premium beer. Okay. I'm furious. Dan says boycott Sapporo beer. All right. Boycott Sapporo beer, guys. There you go. Fuck that noise. Anyone getting in bed with the ghost of Woke celebrator of the death of Charlie Kirk can get in the sea. Thank you very much, Furious Dan, and for the $5 as well. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate you. Gorbash, member for 4 months now, says, may I hash your Obi quote, strike me down? If you strike, this is it. This is what I said about Charlie Kirk, isn't it? They struck him down, he'll become more powerful than they can possibly imagine. And that has happened already. The whole world is now talking about Charlie Kirk. More than when South Park did it.
Yeah.
And this will go on for a long time. People will remember this day. I think probably forever. I feel like it's up there. It's up there with like the assassination of MLK.
I would say exactly that. You know, because in many ways he was speaking to the same kind of ends of the quality of who people are, their character, and like trying to do things through.
He was doing civil rights. He really was.
Same shit, different decade.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I mean,
and by the way, while we're boycotting things,
through the right to speak.
Exactly. While we're boycotting things, by the way, boycott Wikipedia. They were caught 2 days ago attempting to delete the Ukrainian girl, Irina Zarutsky. Can't remember.
Yeah, I've already been reposting that. I saw that.
They were trying to delete that page, and they've spent most of today trying to doctor the Charlie Kirk page. There's a page now that's called the shooting of Charlie Kirk, which somebody posted earlier on a meme. Well, not a meme, but literally just some evidence. There's the murder of George Floyd, the killing of Irina Zarutsky, and the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
No, I suggest that they either change that to murder or assassination. Preferably assassination for the masses. Although I see this as murder because I prefer that as the horrendously negatively tinted coded language. But assassination is what it was. So there we go. And I think last, no, not quite last. Enrico Palazzo for $2 says nothing, but shows us some sunglasses. Well, far be it for me to thank you very much for that. I do appreciate you. And MagesGuild back for another 2, not gone apparently, says I compared it to MLK as well. 4/4/1968. Yep. September the 10th, although for me it was the 11th because of time zones.
Right.
Yeah. So there you go. Certainly it's it's going to be up there with 9/11. But I think a lot of people are saying it's like JFK. I was like, it's not like JFK. It's like MLK.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's a more accurate descriptor for me. Anyway, folks, Charlie Kirk is dead. and it is terrible. It's
Yeah.
a grave and awful, awful day. To say he didn't deserve it would be the understatement of the millennium. He was a good man, a loving and dedicated father and husband, and he was a benign and kind soul who only wanted to improve the lives of everybody in the world. Killed because he was too good at making people doubt themselves. Well, not themselves, because he never made people doubt themselves. If you doubted yourself because your ideology had
Question
failed,
their dogma. Yeah.
If you doubted yourself, because, and good Christian too, thank you. But yes, if you doubt yourself because your ideology is breaking before the raw power of this smiling nice guy, your dogma is not very strong. Your ideology is not worth it, because it sounds like it's doing you more harm than good.
Right.
And ultimately, that's how I feel about it. Disgusting, awful, vile acts, reprehensible, unforgivable, all the worst words I can use. Like there is a long period of trying to adjust ahead of us, and it seems like the kind of thing that I would normally say, oh, don't be so dramatic, surely it doesn't affect you that much. No, it does. It really does. Because
it'll just continue to ripple for
there's
decades.
Right. There's the relatability, there's the similarity of my own personal situation, but more than anything, there's the injustice of it all. And it's so indicative of the escalation, the never-ending escalation brought on by left-wing communists. Absolutely unceasing, never-stopping, psychotic, movement to wreck the world the way it is, because they really believe it's a terrible place created by terrible people, despite all evidence being to the contrary. And now a man is dead because of it. And once again, his wife is a widow, his children are fatherless. And someone should string up the guy who did it, in my opinion. Bring him to justice, at least. Yeah. Once again, congrats to the left. You got your win. You got your day where we all stopped what we were doing to talk about you. I hope it was worth it in a few months. I don't think it will have been. But that's me. We'll wrap this up now. I have a couple of things I want to play before we do that. I've got Trump's response.
Yeah.
Which is a few minutes. It's about 4 minutes long. I'm just going to play it. If you want to talk, we can. But I'm just going to put it on and play it because, well, it's needed.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth.
True.
Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate.
Right.
His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody
Correct.
ever. to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible.
Right.
For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals.
There it is.
This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
I've never seen Donald Trump look so angry.
Yeah, he looks pissed, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Really angry.
Yeah.
Like,
You know,
he didn't even do his thing where he like makes little add-on half sentences in between his sentences. Well, he almost did one, but
certainly didn't even use his hands. Like, that's most
he weren't
staple I've ever
reading
seen
either.
his-
He wasn't doing any of this stuff. Yeah, no, he was just sitting there telling it like it fucking is.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And then someone's community noted it.
Yeah. You know,
great.
it's
Like a cunt.
wow. You know, the one of the
What does it
interesting
say?
things about this is, you know, as a college dropout, for him to return to campuses and give people a far greater education than what they were paying to be indoctrinated for is
I'm
just
going to
kind
tear
of
these to shreds. That some people are trying to say that it's AI generated, and someone else is trying to say that documents presented to Congress suggest that most political violence is from right-wing extremists. How can you
bullshit.
watch The World and think that, you brain-dead hacks? Anyway, there we go, guys. I have one more video to play, but I'll play it as the outro, I think, because I don't feel like ending on a big fanfare today. We'll just play a nice little video, and that will be the end. Before that, though, Rhoda, what is happening with you, mate?
Not sure. I was kind of planning to stream, but I don't really feel like it, which I think is understandable. I might have some shit going down at work, which could be a bit of a problem going forwards, but basically I got my days muddled up and I'm worried like I'm going to get sacked. I mean, I'll be all right for a few months, but you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm probably worrying about nothing.
I mean, make it right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
you're kind of
I
their
might
dependable
play some.
guys, so you know, I'm sure that'll give you a little bit of leeway.
I might play something a bit later to try and take my mind off of things. But yeah, I think, yeah, it's, you don't feel like yourself in a situation like this, basically, do you? So,
no.
What have I got coming up? I don't know.
Right. Fair enough, mate. That's more or less how it is for me at the moment too. But John.
Well, today later on, I'll be doing a stream with Toasty, 8 p.m. Eastern, and you know, I'll be back here again, possibly tomorrow. Sounds like.
If you guys are available,
I'm definitely up for that.
That would be really
I mean,
cool.
Yeah,
I think like we could all use a laugh, but maybe just not right now.
Yeah. But it's just I'm kind of taking things moment to moment. But the schedule remains the same. I'm here with you guys throughout the week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Of course, Toasty, we do Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. But that will probably be shifting. I need to talk to Brian about what we're doing for Weekend Culture this weekend. I would imagine we'll probably be having a conversation about this more than likely. But I don't know. Other than that, probably just trying to avoid all the vitriol and the rage bait and everything like that. So you'll see me on streams, but probably not much of anything else. And all I can really say is, as some kind of thing, to echo what I said earlier about, you know, do some time if you're all a little bit conflicted about what even is, you know, the best thing to do. Introspection, a little bit of kindness, consideration, compassion. Not to say don't be angered, but you know, try to espouse the principles and values that Charlie Kirk lived by. If this has got you affected, the measure of kindness that he brought into the world is now open for other hands to pick up and try to do something with. So,
yeah,
you know,
agreed.
But yeah, with that, you know, it was glad that I had the conversation with you guys today. I was not ready to really get into this yesterday because it was all the way too fresh, and just kind of, yeah. But everyone in the chat who spent time with us today, greatly appreciate you being involved and offering your thoughts and considerations into this conversation we had as well. That, you know, with that said, you know, safe travels ahead. You know, have a wonderful week going forward. Of course, be awesome as always.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's an awful day. There's really no point in trying to make light of it or make good of it. Just write it out. Watch as much as you can, I guess, if you want to, or get away from it. Whatever you feel that you need to do. For me, I'm going to be watching everybody's coverage of it because that's what I do. I'll be streaming. I don't know. I'm supposed to do hyperdrive time. I'm just kind of hoping that I can, because in the mornings I barely got a voice when I'm sick, and I've been sick for the last 3 days. So maybe there'll be hyperdrive time. Hope so. In which case it will be, I don't know, maybe an update on Kirk, but also just regular. Oh, excuse me. Fucking hell. Sorry. Regular news. Pop culture and stuff like that. Tomorrow, same time as this, at the very least, I can say we will stream Jackbox for a good couple, 2 or 3 hours. We'll see how long we can get away with. So look forward to that. Come and join us. We'll have a bit of a laugh and try to have a wake or something for Kirk, you know, have some drinks maybe and just have a laugh about stuff. Or whatever we feel is appropriate at the time. In the meantime, I'd like to say thank you very much to MagesGuild, Rosie 6486, Sardoc, Disgusting. DramaticaLaur sent Hugo. Garrett Griffin. Disgusting. Again, that's the second time. Yeah. As well as Fantastically Amazingly Brilliant multiple times. Jeez. You bloody legends. You went crazy today. John Grant sent Hugo. Smash JT. Scooby Pup. P. Drake. Gamer Baron. And Furious Dan. Gorbash and Enrico Palazzo. Nice name. For kindly donating to this stream. Really appreciate it. It's about as good as it could have been. I feel like we got a lot off our chests. I feel like we covered a lot of stuff. And if I missed anything, well, that you can always send it to me if you want to on Discord or preferably on X, because I'm usually on there anyway. You can follow me on X at Will of the Fans and everywhere else that you can think of at Will of the Fans. And I'll be back soon. And there'll be a video coming out in a little while. Not related to this, just a regular video that was already scheduled. So I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves. Have as good a time as you possibly can. I'll kick us out, and we can all watch this as we say good night for now. Take care, and see you next time.
What advice do you have for me as I move into adulthood in order to become a more informed and involved citizen?
Well, first of all, thank you for being here, and I have hope thanks to people like you. How old are you again?
13.
13. Here's a couple things I want to encourage you to do. Learn something new every single day, and focus on what it means to be a good person and a person of strong character. Aristotle said that courage is the ultimate virtue. Without it, there are no other virtues. If people aren't courageous, you don't have honesty, you don't have justice, you don't have beauty, you don't have wonder. And so at age 13, I want you to commit yourself to a life of courage. Courage is doing the right thing when you don't know how it's going to work out. Courage is committing yourself to the correct course of action, regardless of the cost associated to it.
Every human being, I believe, is made in the image of the divine, is sacred, is unique. And if we get away from this principle as we have, we not only have moral degradation, we not only have the collapsing society around us, but it's bad for that being itself. That being itself is unique. That being has rights. And who are we to say, just because we're older, that we get to murder it? Thank you.